Hey there, my name is Quinn Hamilton. I am a senior in art education, and as such, I have done my mind map on art literacy. This is kind of an interesting one to think about. It took a while to parse out, but the big six categories I decided to come up with were going to be aesthetics, art terminology, art history, the principles of form and design, formal skill, and curation as the main terms of literacy that you learn through art. Formal skill, I think, is the most self-explanatory. It's all the basic skills you learn in painting, printmaking, drawing, etc. You know what type of canvases to use, what techniques to use, all those very minute, very technical, hands-on skills that you learn. Curation is a little more out there. I was kind of thinking about the more in between, outside of the classroom, maybe career focused things you learn in the art classroom. So you got learning how to be a connoisseur of art, the different jobs you can have as an artist, effects on communities, like how murals may affect different parts, preservation of art, whether that be historic or modern, all those different little niche kind of, I don't know, niche parts of art that aren't really talked about besides just like the hands-on art stuff that really has a greater effect on the real world for people who want to continue with art, that it's important to know about if you're talking about artists at all. After that, there's aesthetics, which is just the basic understanding of, you know, properties, parts of the work, if you enjoy it or not, how a student might feel about it, and describing how they feel about it using more artist terms, quote unquote. So you have things like intent, the symbolism, the style you use, how you feel about that style, stuff like that. For art terminology, that one's pretty general. I think there's a lot of overlap with the art terminology with the other mind map sections, but I put things like abstract, modern, contemporary, subjective, objective, just the general terminology that's not principles of form and design that you might use in a classroom to help describe a work or describe the meaning of a work from where it came from and stuff like that, which I think is important to know for making sure students understand the finer details of a work or a technique or something of the sort. After that, I had art history. So you have all your famous artists, all the famous movements they might need to know, Dada, Surrealism, and then other periods like, your general Renaissance, but also the difference between the modern and the contemporary, talking about how art can shift over time, just general art history stuff. There's a lot of terminology there I could go through, but I decided to just keep it simple for this one. That is probably the most terminology heavy one you could go through. And finally is the general principles of form and design. So you've got all your things like line, shape, color, etc., shadows, texture, all those parts that go along with balance, contrast, emphasis to make up any and every piece of art. We teach these to kids really early. You'll see these on posters in elementary classrooms, high school classrooms, because A, they're super useful to know, and B, having students know these help them just be better artists, both when they're observing art and making art, because it allows the art teacher to clearly communicate what they need from the student or what could be added, what could be taken away, if it needs more texture, if it needs more line, stuff like that. Just a good foundational base rock that is really important to art literacy. And yeah, that's my mind map.